Jill, thank you so much for being a part of this testimonial video. It's amazing when my clients can say, hey, Dwayne, I'd love to shoot a testimonial video. I really appreciate it.
I love being a part of it, Dwayne. Thank you for talking to me about it because I'm very excited about what I'm doing in my business now.
Awesome, awesome. And just before we actually started recording, you said you got 2 clients already this week.
This week,
That is
it's
awesome.
crazy. I know. I don't know. It's like there's something in the air, but I got two and a potential two others. So it's a good
Awesome.
week.
It is, it is. So tell me, how did that play out? Just, we'll talk about, our experience, but just since we're already talking about this, how did that play out this week for you for those 2 clients that came in?
So, I mean, the strategies you've given me have been so effective where, I would just basically, tell the client what the product was and, they'll take it or leave it. But, your way of communicating has helped me communicate better. And I think that makes all the difference.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Jill. Great to hear. Just before we dive into the actual just interview and your success story, tell us what you do. Let everybody know what Coach Jill is all about.
So I'm a divorce coach, and I have a group coaching program where I teach people how to deal with the overwhelming emotions and how to get to an agreement in their divorce where they don't waste time and money. So it's really just helping people through um, a really difficult situation.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think when we connected, I really admired what you've done or what you're doing because your story has really helped you transform more lives and more women and men
Yeah.
along your journey, which is so powerful and profound.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's why I do what I do because it's because I went through it and divorce is really tough and I want to be there to help people through that process.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell the audience, like, what did your world look like, before the program?
So I was struggling to sell my group program, which I knew had a high value, but I was selling it at like, a few $100s and like it was tough because I didn't know how to sell it and it wasn't selling that well. So I really was like frustrated because it was like I knew that I had a good product and I didn't know how to monetize it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And like, what were the kind of things that you tried along the way to kind of monetize it? You said you're selling it for about $100 or so. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I tried launches. I did some, 5-day free challenges,
Mhm.
and I did several launches that, they did okay, but they didn't get anywhere near what I'm charging now, and it was a lot of work. Now I have a process that I go through, and it's pretty dependable. Each week that I get at least one or two clients, and at this point that's all I really um need. But sometimes I get more, so it's really nice to have like a strategy and a process that works.
No, awesome. That's awesome. I really do appreciate that, Joe. And I guess from your perspective, what was that internal shift that took place within, your mind and internally to really start getting the results that you want from that transition before the program and going into the program?
Well, I guess internally I always felt like I wasn't a salesperson, and I really didn't like selling, and I felt that selling wasn't my thing. And so I feel like the mind shift I made was that I'm not really selling. I'm offering a service. I'm offering people something that's going to help them. So it's really not about selling. And when you take the sales out of it, it's so much easier for me to just communicate how I'm going to help people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing I do teach my clients as well, and I don't think I've explained this to you, but one thing that I do really show individuals is that sales, you're not really combating or competing against the person that you're about to serve. Like, if you're not going into war, there's no battle. You have to think of it almost like you're helping this person and you are on their side to get the results that they want.
Right. Exactly. And also like you don't have to say too much, you really have to listen. And that's a big mindset change too.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's awesome. So I guess what was like, what did things look externally for you? Like, what were the external the external shift that took place externally for you? We talked about, what took place internally. What took place externally for you in your world?
Well, I have a VA who's helpful to me and who's doing some of the work that I really tried to do myself, and it was like way too overwhelming. So I
Absolutely.
have that going, and that's really wonderful. It frees me up to do other things, and you know, just accepting the fact that I do have to talk to people to sell my program, not like they're just not going to click on a link of someone they don't talk to. And so now, setting aside time to do that and being okay with that is part of what my external day looks like. But I don't have to do that many, like I really don't have that many. I don't spend too much time. I do what works for me, you know.
Absolutely. And I must commend you, Jill. And I've said this before, and I will say it again, just for everybody that's listening and to let everybody know the kind of individual you are. You definitely took action. And, everything that we talked about on the calls from day one, you're like, okay, how do I do that? What do I need to do? Okay, I did this. What's next? I honestly enjoyed and loved working with you because you implemented.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a lot of patience. So if you tell me something, I'm going to do
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome. And the reason why I say that as well is because it's so important that, it doesn't matter what kind of investment you're making with any coach, with anybody you're working with, but it's so important to take action and to do the things necessary to see the results.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the results.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Am I seeing the results? And like quickly too. It's not like it took that long to get the results. It really happened quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess what did the program really help you with to overcome those challenges? Like, how did it look? Like, through our interactions, through the program, through the course, and things of that nature.
So it was really nice to have somebody just focusing on my business. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I, you know, I was one of many people. You really gave me individual attention on my specific business. You got to know my business. You were there in between, sessions to like encourage me. And it just felt good to have someone on my side to like really focus on me and my business. And that was the way it worked for me.
Absolutely, my pleasure, my pleasure. And based on those challenges, and I guess when you actually got started within the program, what would you say really pushed you over the edge to get started within the program, knowing the support you would get and things like that?
I mean, first of all, I trusted you, like I've been burned before. And like I didn't want to have a coach that was just, all talk, no action. And like you're not at all. You're like all action, So um that's what got me going. And like, just having someone who was knowledgeable, you have a tremendous amount of knowledge and you help me no matter what. I'm a little all over the place, so you would kind of go all over the place with me and get me focused, and then like help me no matter what questions I had and wherever I was struggling. So that was really, really amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. How important was it for you to, find a coach to help you adapt to your style of learning and your style of, cooperation with the coach? How important was that for you?
Oh no, it's so important because you have to have someone who kind of understands what you need, right?
Mhm.
And like if somebody's teaching me something that I didn't need, and which is what I had before, that doesn't do you any good. So it was really, really important that you were understanding me and my needs and how I work.
That's awesome, Joe. And from your perspective, and basically from the results that you had, I don't think it's your perspective. I think it's actually reality. What were the results that you got? What kind of results weren't you seeing before the program, you've explained it a bit, but if you could touch on that, and what were the results that you saw during the program and working together?
Well, so I need to get pushed, right? And I want people to be able to have my services. And so I tend to like, oh, you can't afford this? Okay, here. Like we'll make it an exception for you. And you very much encouraged me to charge what I'm worth. Um, and give me the incentive to like, really make what I should be making in this. And that's what I saw the difference is. Like before, I would have accepted so much less. And that's not good for anybody, and people really value when they're paying what they should be paying for something. And so I get better students and they get a better experience, and I make the money that I should be making, with your encouragement. So that's the difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're open to sharing, what was the return on investment? How was the sales that came in through the coaching and development? Would you be able to speak on that if you're open to it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few different packages, but I think in the past couple months I made about 6,000 just
Awesome.
from new. Yeah.
Woo!
So
That's awesome.
that was great. And it's just getting really automatic with my new VA and everything. So I expect that's going to be, continuing, and just the two new this week. I mean, it's really going in a really amazing direction.
That's beautiful, Jill. Can you tell me, based off your experience in working together, I know there's a lot of things that we did go over, and there's some things that I had challenged you with as well.
Yeah.
And based off that, that's how we all grow. I was challenged, and it's just I'm doing the best. I'm doing the best I can do in supporting my students by challenging them in obviously positive ways. Can you tell the audience and share, like, how were you challenged in that full process?
I mean, so many different ways, but like, to not feel bad about charging people. I mean, that's part of what I was, because I know how financially scary divorce is. So, like, the fact that they're paying me a significant amount of money, I had to like totally put that aside and know that like if they are paying it, they can afford it. You know what I mean? And I'm also saving them tons of money. So, like, that whole idea of my needs aren't really important, and I have to think about my client. No, it's like you encouraged me to charge what I'm worth, and you also encouraged me to just the way that I sell, the not sell, but the way that I
Or,
communicate
yeah,
with these potential customers is like, I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. And I would be like, okay, I'll see you later. So going into these meetings and having the conversations that I needed to have, you really pushed me. You were like, have you looked over, the script? Have you practiced the script? And like, I was like, oh, it's not what I want to be doing, but like your encouragement really helped, because then I really did focus on it and really I think I get it now.
that's awesome, Jill. That's awesome. And could you let the audience know, and those that are listening, like, where do you see yourself now? So, looking at where you are now and where you want to grow, and the expertise that you've been able to garnish, and your projection. How does your future look now, Joe?
Well, it's really interesting that you said that, because I mentioned that I'm talking to someone about potentially doing a podcast, and she said, where, how big can your group grow? And I'm like, well, I could probably do it myself for like 30 people, but like I could hire someone to help me. So I could do like hundreds of people in my group coaching program. So there's really no limit to what I can do. So I just have to get to the point where, I'm getting that many people in, and then I'm just going to hire someone to help me teach it, and it could really, really explode, which I'm excited about.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see your journey. Like, I know this isn't the last time we'll be connecting or talking, but I'll be following you. I'll be seeing what you're doing, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. I feel it. It's very helpful.
Awesome, awesome. And do you have any recommendations, like someone wants to say, who's this guy from Conversion Clinic? Who's this Dwayne Mack guy, Coach Dwayne Mack? Would you have any words to say about, what words would you have to say about, the coaching program and the experience and things like that?
I would say that you are extremely, extremely knowledgeable in so many different areas for your coaching business. And I highly, highly recommend someone use you and talk to you about, depending any point in your coaching business, because you know how to help someone get from, any point, whether you just started out or you're going pretty well or you've been doing it a long time. And I think you really are good at helping people no matter where they are in their journey.
I really do appreciate that, Jill. And thank you so much again for being on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you win.
Mhm. Me too.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye bye.